How's it going, everybody? Happy Tuesday. We have a super fun episode for you today. Mr. Darrell is going to be talking about why choosing a Mallett building for your post frame structure would be a good idea. I happen to agree with him, but let's let him talk about that here in a moment. As always, let's hop into our usual information. Where is Mallett? This week we are in 110 different job locations. Starting it off, you guys, we are everywhere from almost pretty much College Station to Tyler, all the way to Hattiesburg, Mississippi, you guys, and everywhere in between. Logistics, scheduling, you guys are awesome making all this work and having it just so smooth of a process. So thank you guys so much if you're watching, and for those who are watching, if you see yourself on this map, please comment in the comments below, leave a picture or a video of the work site. We'd love to see the progress as it's going on from your point of view, and just it's always fun to see what's happening from the customer's perspective. So drop that comment, let us see those photos and videos, and let's get your Mallett building in production, you guys. Let's get it built, let's get started, and let's move on. So here in Louisiana, we have 81 different jobs going on, and a job could be any of the following and a few others. We have delivery on the ground, in construction, inspections, forming, plumbing, concrete, gutters, control joints, electrical, HVAC, and finally red tags to go back and fix any uh-ohs, any mistakes, anything that may have happened during the process, from scratches to major issues, you guys. We make sure to go back and fix those as well, because if you're ordering a building, we want to make sure you get a perfect building. But we have 81 different jobs going on here in Louisiana. In Texas, we have 24 jobs going on. We have buildings on the ground, and 2 in construction, 2 in the forming, 3 in plumbing, 3 in concrete, have several in gutters and control joints, an electrical HVAC project, and 4 red tags. Excuse me. Moving along, you've seen where's Mallett. Let's talk about our favorite topic, why Mallett. That's what Mr. Darrell is going to be talking about a little bit later today, but let me go ahead and give you the general information we typically go over. First and foremost, we have the Rival Series. This is a series of buildings that we offer. It's not a Mallett building because it's not a Mallett building tier, it's the Rival Series. Now, what is the Rival Series? It is our budget-friendly option, you guys. It's based on what everyone else is building. This is what I like to call a code-sufficient building. It's going to be built to the code, but it's not going to exceed it by doing a lot of things that Mallett does, and we'll get to that here soon. However, what it does do is give you 4 walls and a roof. To be honest, you guys, this is not the building tier we want to sell you here at Mallett, and it has nothing to do with the price, because there's only about a $3,000 difference in the Rival and the Classic to get you into a Mallett building. However, it's just, like I said, it doesn't go above and beyond. It doesn't go the extra mile. It is a very basic, this is what any other builder you're going to talk to is going to be able to give you, because they're not going to be making their own trusses. No one else is going to get 2x8 trusses. No one else is going to get the engineering that we have here at Mallett, and so many other features we'll get to soon. But let's go ahead and talk to what you do get in a Rival Series, because like I said, if you're on a budget and that's the final deciding factor, this may be a perfect building for you, and we'd love to help get you into that. So with a budget, you're gonna have a few options that aren't there, but let me tell you what is there. You're gonna get 29 gauge metal, a 4-on-12 roof pitch, 2x6 common flat trusses, 130 mile-an-hour wind rated building. You're gonna have no uplift control, so no cable lock system. The posts are gonna go directly into the dirt or gravel, no post pad. You're gonna have 2x8 headers, 3,000 PSI concrete, no ground protection, so we're not gonna do the skirt board guards. And then you're gonna have a limited, I believe it's a 2-year limited warranty on the Rival. And then you're gonna have number 2 untreated generic lumber. Now, again, this is going to be what most other post-frame constructions are going to be. What a Mallett building is, actually what a Mallett building starts out as, is already better than the competition. It's already better than our lowest tier of the Rival Series. It's already better than anything else you're gonna find, because that's what we do here at Mallett, is go above and beyond. Now let me show you what that looks like. 26 gauge metal, it's gonna be stronger, thicker, more durable than 29 gauge. 5-on-12 roof pitch, it's gonna be steeper, allow for better runoff of rain and debris, preventing clogs, leaks, and things of that nature. 2x6 cathedral trusses. So though the Classic now comes with a 2x6 truss, they're going to be scissor, vaulted, cathedral, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same. You're going to have more headroom and overall a better looking building. These trusses, I might add, are also going to be engineered specifically for your building. Everyone else, there's no one else who's going to be a truss manufacturer that you're going to talk to here in Southwest Louisiana, you guys. We are the truss manufacturer for ourselves. So what we do is we build every truss in-house. It's going to be made sure to fit to your specs, to your building, to your location, to your dimensions. Everything you need, you guys, we're going to have it engineered and designed here in-house. What everyone else is going to be doing is they're going to be ordering trusses that are pre-made from a third-party source. So they're essentially a middleman. They're not going to be doing anything involving the creation, design, engineering of those trusses, and they're just going to be piecing it together with whatever other materials that they have, almost like a puzzle. And to be honest, wouldn't you want the person making the puzzle, putting the puzzle together for you? Or would you want someone who's just piecing stuff together? And that's just how my brain works, you guys. I like to have things from the source. So if we can make the trusses, that's always a green flag for me. Now, when we are talking about our trusses, they are third-party inspected. We're partnered with several other organizations throughout Texas and Louisiana, and they require third-party inspections of our trusses and truss facility. So they're going to come in quite often, and they're going to check, make sure our trusses are up, the trusses that we produce are up to code and up to the standards we set. They're going to make sure the truss plant is fully operational and proper condition, and everything is working well to the cutting machines, and everything involved in the process. You guys are going to evaluate that and make sure it's up to standards. We're also going to have a 140-mile-an-hour wind-rated building for the Mallett Classic, up to 160 on the Mallett Elite. You're going to get the Mallett Cable Lock System, you guys. What an awesome innovation this is. The cable lock system is a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cable that is woven throughout the entirety of the base of the building, attached through eyelets that are going to be in, what is it? There we go. What an amazing innovation the cable lock system is, you guys. It is going to be a series of 1/8 inch aircraft cable that's woven throughout the entire base of the building, connecting post to post, attached to eye bolts at the base of each 6x6 post. Then on top of that, you're going to have our concrete. In the case of the Classic, it's going to be 4-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete slab. That's going to be microfiber reinforced all the way throughout. That will be poured on top of those cables, and once that concrete hardens, cures, and dries, it's going to lock all those cables together, and it's going to create what's called dead weight on top of those cables, creating uplift control. As you see over here, there's no uplift control in the rival. The Mallett Cable Lock System is our uplift control. So the weight of that slab will be pushing down on those cables, creating dead weight. Now, in post frame construction, all the weight of a building is going to be on the posts. You're going to have what's called a floating slab. And this slab that we use in tandem with the cable lock system is going to create weight on those cables, holding the building down. So in the event of a hurricane, a high wind scenario, whatever it may be, if a door gets busted in, a window breaks, you leave a door unlocked or open, that wind's going to rush in and want to come out, and it's going to go up and try and come out and create a parachute out of your building pretty much. So that's going to go, and the building's going to go bye-bye. So when that happens, that's not good. The cable lock system is going to prevent this by, again, holding the weight of the building down by the slab. It's an amazing feature. Ask your building specialist about it to go into more detail, but it is my favorite feature. We're also going to have concrete under every post. We're going to put 80 pounds of concrete in each post hole under your 6x6 post to create what's called a post pad. These post pads, or footers as some people call them, are going to be a firm foundation for the post to sit on, and it's going to create a flat, clean surface to help prevent sinking and settling of that building as it sits there. Again, all the weight of the building is on the post, so it's going to eventually dig into the ground if you have nothing underneath to protect it. We're going to have double 2x12 headers. We talked about the concrete. You're going to have skirt board guards. You're going to have 4-year workmanship warranty, up to a 10-year workmanship warranty on the Elite building. We're also going to use #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber in every piece of wood, from the posts that are in the ground to the purlins, the girts, the trusses. Everything on this building is going to be #1 MCA ground treated kiln dried lumber. So it's going to be treated and protected for ground, and that same wood's going to be in the air, so you have full protection top to bottom. It's also going to help prevent termites, beetles, wood destroying insects, and the kiln drying is going to pull all that excess moisture out. So when it's in the heat and the elements and it's going to start drying, because it will, those screws are going to want to pull out, the wood's going to want to crack, bend, warp, all that if you don't use kiln dried lumber. So this is just something to consider. This wood is prepped and ready to be used in the environment you're putting it in. If you just get wet wood from anyone else, that's going to be a risk you are taking. Make sure they're using at least kiln dried lumber. And again, we're going to have in-house engineering oversight. Mr. Darrell and his team are phenomenal. We're a set of licensed engineers here at Mallett as well. We're a licensed engineering firm. So we want to make sure everything has oversight from start to finish. As Mr. Darrell famously says, it's one thing to design a building and draw up a building. It's another thing to be able to create it to do what it's designed to do. And that's what we do and make sure things are as perfect as can be. That's why Mallett. Moving right along, if you are considering a Mallett building and you fall into one of these workplace categories, healthcare worker, first responder, military personnel, teacher, and educator, we just want to start off by saying thank you. So any day of the week, you can get $500 off your Mallett building, any tier, just by doing what you do every day. It's our way of saying thank you. And if you're looking to upgrade to a signature or elite building, we have Tiger Cash. Be sure to comment cash on a video just like this one, and you can get $1,000 off your signature or elite building. So say you want to upgrade or you want to start with the best, whatever it may be, $1,000 off for you. Now this does not apply to specials or promotions, however, it is $1,000, so make sure you comment cash. Moving right along to those specials and promotions, we still have this beautiful building until the end of this week, I believe Thursday. So a couple more days, 30 by 50 by 12, for $44,499, you're gonna get an elite building. So you're gonna get #1 grade lumber, MCA ground treated kiln dried. You're gonna get 6-inch 4,000 PSI concrete microfiber reinforced slab. You're gonna get the almighty Mallett Cable Lock System, 160 mile an hour wind rated building, as I said. You're gonna get 170 mile an hour wind rating on the truss system. So that's a crazy amount for the roof. The concrete pads under the posts, double 2x12 headers, post protectors, prolong the life of your post up to 500 years. Generational protection there. 5-on-12 cathedral trusses, 2x8s. Single bubble insulation, 2 3x5 windows. Gutters are included. You're also gonna get ridge vents and so much more. Optional wainscoting, you guys. So many cool features here in the Mallett Elite building. Be sure you don't miss this opportunity. We do have the Cajun Oasis as well. So this is a classic. This is what we used in our Y Mallett example. This is also a 30 by 50 by 12 for $49,999. Now this also comes with a lot of the Elite features because the Oasis is prepped and ready. It also comes with things the Elite does not come with, and that's going to be the basic electrical package and the 5-ton wall-mounted unit and the climate control package. Now it's also going to come with that single bubble insulation like the Elite does, and this electrical package and 5-ton unit together are a $16,000 value for free. And if you also want to ask about spray foam, we have those options available as well. But this is 1,500 square feet of beautiful, ready to rock and roll building. As soon as we're done, all you have to do is hook up your electrical. If you have anything, your utilities, all that, and it's ready to go. You're gonna have lights, electrical outlets, switches, all that fun stuff. Shop is ready to go. If you wanna use it for a home gym, theater, in-law suite, workshop, toy shed, whatever you may be using it for, the Oasis is perfect for you. And if you're like me, and like I mentioned, I like to get things from the source, get things that are the best of the best when possible, we have the Cajun Oasis Elite. For $59,999, you get all of those Elite features we just talked about. So the optional wainscoting, the ridge vents, the gutters, the 2 3x5 windows, the roll-up door, the walk-through door, the ridge vents, gutters, the 6-inch slab with 4,000 PSI microfiber reinforced concrete, the cable lock system, so many other features, you guys, and the 10-year warranty, the 170 mile an hour wind rated roof, 160 wind rated building. I think you're getting what I'm saying. The Elite building is the best of the best for $59,999. And this one again is ready to go. As soon as we're done, you hook up your utilities, you're ready to rock and roll. Now, we know you have a lot of options when it comes to post frame builders, and if you want to get your shop done, your barn door done, we realize there's a lot of people saying they can do it. we have created a system we call the 5 red flags, where we want to show what you need to look for when you are deciding who to be your builder. So if they fall into any of these categories or fail these hurdles, as I say, they may not be the right builder for you. And please hold us to these same standards. We just want to make sure you are properly educated and prepared on who you're doing business with. Red flag number 1 is years in business. So we always like to say everyone has to start somewhere, but the starting somewhere is being licensed. They have to be a licensed company, you guys. You can't do business with someone who's not in business. So make sure on the Secretary of State they have a license, and you also want to see how long they have been in business. Here at Mallett Buildings, we've been around for 27 years. We're proud of that, and we plan to hit 30, 40, 50, and we'll be around as long as we can. Moving right along, licensure. Now this is going to be a little different than years in business, because if they have a business license, they're also going to need a contractor's license. So this is something you can check at the LSLBC here in Louisiana. That is the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. And this is going to be where, again, you find contractor's license. We actually have an episode tomorrow coming out, so be sure to tune into the live tomorrow. We're going to be talking about licensures, both residential and commercial, and what those mean, what they don't mean, and how you can better be knowledgeable about that topic. But stay tuned for that tomorrow. Right now, we want to make sure they have a contractor license, residential, commercial, whatever it may be. Check that at the LSLBC. And while you're there, you want to check out for contractor violations. So if they are a contractor and they go to the next step of the red flags, make sure they don't have any contractor violations. Unfortunately, this is all too common in this industry. We're proud to say at Mallett we have 0 contractor violations in our 27 years. We cannot say the same for other businesses. There's been about 2 this year that have already gone out of business. We want to help prevent you from doing business with those people, because if they're not around, they can't honor your warranty, and you don't want to be involved in some shady activity that could lead to legal trouble. It's just worth staying away from. But if they have them, make sure to ask and see if they have an explanation. Moving right along to the reviews on the BBB and Google, you guys. This one's so important because everything else is focused on the legal aspect of things, the business, the licenses, all that. This is going to focus on the customer side of stuff. So this is going to talk about what customers' experiences were like and how they felt about the business. So we know the legal side, now let's talk about the consumer side, because that's you. That if you're a customer, that is what you are the consumer. You are the one who is experiencing this from your perspective. Reviews is a great way to see that, you guys. We have over 700 of them, so plenty of opportunities to see who we are, what we are, and how working with this goes. We're A+ rated on the Better Business Bureau, as well as we're an accredited BBB business. Between them and Google, we have 700 reviews. Please be sure to check ours out. Be sure to check out whoever you're doing business with. If you're gonna look for reviews on Amazon or anything like that, you may as well look for reviews on an investment such as a building. Now finally, visit the contractor facility. We love this one because we love our facility. Like I said earlier, we are a full-on truss manufacturer. We build everything here in-house. We even have the gutter plant going on. We have the roll form plant where we'll be doing our own metal here soon, and everything in between, you guys. It is a phenomenal process to see. We encourage you to come check it out. Not everyone has a facility, and if they do, it's more of a showroom. We show you how the buildings are made here. We show you everything that's part of the process. We're not just gonna show you a dream, we'll show you the process behind making that dream happen. So come on in, we're right off the interstate here in Iowa, Louisiana. Come check us out, we'd love to see you. That's gonna be it for me right now. I'm gonna turn it over to Mr. Darrell right after this quick commercial break.
What's going on, folks? This is Mike with Mallett. Y'all can call me Mallett Mike. I'm out here today in our new roll form plant. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about how our buildings come together. So this is one of our 6x6 posts. This is going to be MCA ground treated, and these are going to be spaced every single 10 feet. Now these posts, they're going to be sunk about 3 foot in the ground, and before they go in, they're going to receive about 80 pounds worth of concrete that's going to be put in. And if you look down here, you can kind of see how all these materials work together whenever we come in with that concrete, and how you'll understand how our cable lock system works. So this is called a wall girt. These are 2x6. These are also MCA ground treated, and these are going to be 2 foot on center going all the way up. Now the lowest one we call our skirt board, and that's actually going to serve as the form board whenever we pour your concrete. So you can see the concrete down here and the relationship it has. It's fully enveloping this post on 3 sides. And you can't see it, but the cable lock system that went in before this concrete was poured, basically we're taking an 1/8" aircraft cable and we're going to be doing a zigzag fashion, connecting every single one of these posts in your building, tying it all together. That's what we call our cable lock system. So when we pour that concrete, the dead weight from this slab is actually preventing this building from ever being pulled up out of the ground. If you ever know about hurricanes, you're probably going to lose those roll-up doors. They're going to get blown right out. It's going to turn this whole building into a giant parachute. So it's important to have uplift control, and you're going to get that from our cable lock system. And again, it's the dead weight of all this concrete that's weighing that down, holding your building in the ground 3 foot. It's not like a stick-built building that's built on top of your slab. We're in the ground, and that slab is going to lock everything in place.
Hey, I'm Daryl Fassell, the engineer here at Mallett, and today I wanted to talk about kind of another gumbo or buffet topic. We're getting to a little a group of things, and so where this talk came from was I look up on the web all the time about post frame buildings versus steel buildings, wood versus steel, and these kind of things. And I find all kinds of posts about this topic, and so I began thinking about that, and as a result, I came up with this little talk. And so in general, we're talking about why choose a Mallett post frame structure. And so the first thing that comes to my mind is a post frame building is more aesthetically pleasing than a steel frame building. Now, this whole thing about aesthetically pleasing, obviously, that has an opinion to it, because you know, some people like daffodils, some people like daisies, and some people don't know what those are. But in general, the consensus for most folks, especially, you know, when we're talking about the typical Mallett building that we're going to be building, is something that's going to be in your backyard, possibly your home, or in conjunction to your home, like the Cajun Oasis, maybe your pool house or something. And so it's good that it fits the character of your property. And you know, most houses these days are built with a 5-on-12 roof pitch or greater. I do a lot of house plans, and it seems like to me the higher the better. I do some house plans that the roof pitch is greater than 12-on-12, and so our Mallett building is 5-on-12, and so that's a nice fit. It's aesthetically pleasing, the roof pitch is. The next part of it is this consideration of porches. There's nothing better than a porch on your Mallett building. I like porches. I sit on my back porch all the time. In fact, once it gets warm, I try to see how many meals I can eat on my back porch until it gets too hot to eat. And of course, you can just about always do breakfast, even if you do it early, you know, in the morning. But I love a porch. My grandmother had a little house with a front porch that faced a pasture of, I don't know, 20 acres or so, and there was a herd of goats that lived in that pasture, and it just entertained me to no end to just sit on that porch and watch the goats, and especially the little ones, play when I was a kid. So I like porches. And so to me, there's just a big difference between, let me click through some of these. So this is just a metal building that I found that has a porch, but to me that looks like a warehouse, because you got the steel beams, the steel columns, steel beams, and it just has that look. You say, well, Daryl, what's the difference? Well, the difference is we have wood posts and we have exposed wood on our porches. And so here's another one, a metal building. And of course, this is just like an awning. This is flat as flat could be. This is a 1-on-12 porch that's for a metal building. And then this is another one of our buildings where, it's a 5-on-12, and then the porch comes off of it, but these wooden posts and exposed wooden trusses, to me, just gives it a better, homier look. And then there's another slide that has the exposed wood on the porch, which is just a warmer look to me. And so I much prefer the post frame system over the metal buildings. And there's another thing about this that you'll find. And you kind of have to dig into the details whenever you're comparing a Mallett building with a steel building, because the price that you get from the metal building, most of the time, especially the initial price they give you, is for a box. And then when you want to do a wing addition, the price goes up, way up. And metal buildings aren't really that efficient. The design is not that efficient when it comes to adding something to the box. So, and then the other part of this talk is answering the post frame criticisms. And this is why Mr. Lee says don't call it a pole barn. Because you find things on the internet, and I was reading something today, and it basically said that a pole barn, it won't last that long. Termites can be a big issue. Rot can be a big issue. Moisture damage can be an issue. And you can only do a single-story building. Okay, that's what this article said. And so I want to just take a few minutes to debunk that article. And so the first thing that I would talk to you about is durability. And because of the type of wood that we use, the way we place the post in the ground, and the way we design the components, our buildings are as durable or more durable than a steel structure and more durable than a stick frame structure. And you say, boy, Daryl, that's saying a lot. But now listen. The wood that we use is number 1 grade. That's not number 1, it's not number 2, and it's not number 3. So, and just to talk about that just a few minutes. Most of you guys that listen to this, you've been to Home Depot or Lowe's or the local lumber yard to do some project, and maybe you're looking for 15-foot long stud, 16-foot long wood for something, or maybe even 10 foot. Well, if you're looking for 2x4 studs, just 2x4 studs, and you try to find straight studs, you're going to be there a long time. Depending on how critical you are in looking at that wood, you know, and maybe you've never done this before, but you'll see the guy, and he'll have one end of the board laid down on the floor, the other end up like this, and he'll be looking down that board to see if it's straight. And most of the time it's not. So you throw that one away, and you find another one. Throw that one away, and you find another one. Well, so that's number 2 wood that you're looking at. Number 3 wood is even more crooked than number 2 wood. Now, I didn't know this until last week, but I had to look into it for a client. And the code allows you to use number 3 lumber. The material values, the bending stress, and the modulus of elasticity of that wood is less than, and the compressive capacity is less than number 2, and number 2 is much less than number 1. So number 1, but you can use it. I don't know how you'd build a structure with number 3. It would just be crooked. But the code allows it. But the point is, number 1 lumber is significantly straighter and stronger than number 2 lumber. But you say, well, but what does that have to do with durability? Well, we don't just stop at number 1 lumber. No, we use pressure treated number 1 lumber. And we don't just use pressure treated number 1 lumber. We use pressure treated lumber that is graded to withstand ground contact, which is a very, very stringent pressure treatment. And so that's the first component, is we use this number 1 MCA ground treated lumber. And so I have an article here. It's very exciting reading, called Pressure Treated Southern Pine. Okay, and in that article, and it's published by the Southern Forest Products Association of America. And I can imagine how thrilling their meetings are. But it says in this brochure, it says that 85% of all pressure-treated wood is U.S. Southern pine. And then it goes on to list all these codes that are involved in the brochure, and then there's even a American Wood Protection Association, AWPA, which comes up with all these standards for pressure treatment of wood. And so this page, I don't know if you can see that, but this page is full of different types of treatment. Now, the type of treatment that the lumber that we use has is MCA, and that is that's waterborne carbon based. Okay, and so then when you go on and you look at all the different types of treatment, it still mentions creosote, even though nobody uses that anymore. It lists CCA, but it's really not, CCA is not used in residential applications. So the one that we use, the MCA, is the best one because there's no, it's most environmentally friendly and human friendly type of treatment. And so that's the type we use. And it's even safe for garden vegetables if you want to do a raised planter. And so that's the first thing, the wood. And that can't be overstated. So a couple of years ago, my house got termites. I couldn't believe that. I mean, I'm a civil engineer. My house isn't supposed to get termites. But they snuck in there and I didn't notice it. And luckily my house was under a termite contract, and so the termite company had to pay for the work. But if I would have been living in a barn dough that was built by Mallett Building, the termites would have gone to another house because they would not chew on my MCA ground treated lumber. And so it's it's number one, so it's very durable. And termites don't like it. Rot is not an issue. Moisture damage is not an issue because of the wood, okay? Well, then the post that we use. So we don't stick the number one ground treated lumber in the ground, even though it's rated to go in the ground. No, we put a PVC post protector over the post. And it goes up 52 inches. I've showed it to you before. It's sitting right over there, one of our typical post protectors. And so this post protector and this post is going to outlast all of us. It's going to outlast Tyler's children that he hasn't had yet, okay? So that's just not an issue. And then the components that we use, the trusses, once again, they're number one ground treated lumber, and they are 2x8s, very stout trusses that have been designed, have been checked, and they will withstand 160 mile per hour wind, even though nobody's building it in 160 mile per hour area. And then we have all these threaded connections. We use screws, which are much stronger than nails. So it's just a quality product. And so that's, they say durability. So that's, I know I've run over some of this stuff before. Let me get back to my list. Okay, so that article was griping about the durability, and they were wrong, okay? And then they were talking about the possibility of termites, and that's not an issue. Rot is not an issue. Moisture damage is not an issue. And then the last one is they said, well, you can't build a 2-story barn-dominium. Well, let's look back here. And looky there. We built a 2-story barn-dominium. And this is a project north of Baton Rouge. And I wish I had better pictures, but sometimes our guys out in the field just aren't very good at taking pictures. And they are taking the right pictures. Okay, this is an overall view of Mr. Saya's project in Slaughter, Louisiana. And so he had 20-foot tall eave height, and he had a second floor. Now, you say 20 feet tall, man, can those posts take 20 feet? Well, the reason they can is because that second floor is coming in at mid-height, and it's going to brace those posts. And so it's a very strong structure. But we could do this for you. We could do a 2-story structure for your house. Even if you wanted to have part of it to be open to below, so you could have common trusses in part of it and scissor trusses in the other part of it. So that's a very nice project. And so that's my answer to that article about the 2-story. We can do that. And so, in summary, as always, I believe in the Mallett product. And I tell you that every week. But it's not just an opinion. Now, the aesthetics, okay, that's just an opinion. But I would rather have the exposed wood on my Mallett building behind my house than I would to have a industrial warehouse, or not, okay, you say it's not a warehouse, an industrial mini warehouse behind my house, okay? It's a more homey look. And so that's why I like that part, and I like the other part because of the science behind it. All right, well, that's all for this week, and I'll see you next week.